Welcome race fans here for Season 2 of the Doublemint Cup Series here. Ian Dutta for H. Scott Motorsports signing for another year. Qualified on the pole for this race here at superspeedway. Normally our first round, and we're going to keep it that way. 42 drivers with new and old faces in the series. Some will be looking forward to getting their first victory, and some others are going to try and extend their career here and maybe win a championship. Green flag is out. Ian Dutta leads the field down for the green flag, as I think there may have been a bit of trouble near the back. Yes, something wrong with Chris Dodd's car, something amiss with the number 88 already. Just like that, I think Chris Dodd may have missed a shift. Yeah, looks like he missed a shift there, as that car looks like that car could not get going at all. So already some mechanical issues for the 88 team. That is not a good start. That's not the way you want to start the race so far. But Ian Dutta leads over Cody Lamas. Lamas has the push from Jesse Turner right now. And there you see Dylan Schwalmer getting help from Johnny Gardner, who's returning to the series as well. Schwalmer finished second in points after Season 1, so Schwalmer trying to get some redemption here and maybe win a race to get in the chase already, so no worries there from him. But Cody Lamas will be leading the field down. He's going to lead the first lap of Season 2 here for the Doublemint Cup Series there. There you see the number 83 of Betty Johnson now peeking underneath Johnny Gardner. Gardner's going to put the block there, and it may work here. And yes, it does. Johnny Gardner advances to the lead, but it's going to probably be short-lived here. But here comes the 83 yet again. Bit of contact near the back, and one car hard on the wall. That is Elijah Gordon. Will the caution come out here? We're going to have to wait and see here. Elijah Gordon's hard in the inside wall. Will the caution fly? No, it has not, for some odd reason. So Elijah Gordon in some deep trouble early on. Chris Dodd's down pit lane, so they're trying to diagnose the issue here. But right now, the 38 of Jonathan Rains leads off of corner number 4, but there you see the 83 of Johnson still holding her ground. But that is a tough break for Elijah Gordon. Just like that, the 14 car already in some trouble. Maybe there could be oil on the track, bringing out the caution. There you see Chris Dodd finally getting out on the racetrack, but that is not good for 88 team. There you see Kyle Matthews going for the lead underneath Joshua Sikuli. And there you see Richard Johnson making a return to the series. Turner doing the same as well. So like I said, old faces are trying to get their way back into this pack here. Maybe we can make the chase again, so we can get some new drivers and some old ones make the chase again. There you see Richard Johnson coming off of corner number 4, and there you see the smoking number 14 car of Elijah Gordon. No pun intended. But it looks like, I don't think they're bringing out the caution for the oil on the track, so it doesn't look like that's going to be the case whatsoever. We're looking at Chris Dodd here, and that car is not really able to go up to speed fully, so we know there is a mechanical issue for Chris Dodd early on here. Joshua Sikuli still leads, though. As you can see how diverse this field's going to get here. There's going to be a lot of experienced and inexperienced drivers. Richard Johnson sits in second. Pat Johnson and Dylan Schwalberg, teammates, are going 3 wide against each other with the number 4, Jeremy Jones, in the outside lane. And Jeremy Jones won the Truck Series race, so maybe he's trying to go for a sweep possibly. Bit of contact there between Ian Dutta and Bill Gunther there. You might have noticed some sparks kind of flying there, so looks like there might be a bit of sign damage to the 34 team, maybe a tire up, so we're going to have to pay attention to them. There you see the number 44, Jessica Emery, and really just trying to make her way up there. William Brock making his debut as well. A couple drivers from different leagues are racing this series, so it really is an honor to see a lot of these guys join in. So I'd like to give a shout out and thanks to everybody that has participated. Whether you get replaced or not, I still want to thank you. But right now, Joshua Sikuli still the car to pass right now. Richard Johnson hasn't really been able to pass that number 27 car. That 27 is good in clean air. Schwalberg and Gardner are right behind each other. They're not really necessarily helping each other. Schwalberg stuck on the inside. The number 5 is Zorlin on the outside lane. Not much help there, but there you see Emily Anderson going down low. It's now going to the middle lane. 4 wide. Pat Johnson presses the issue there, and he's going to try and get around 3 cars in one go. But here comes Andy Thomas with the full head of steam. The BK Racing car, the Burger King car, getting up there as well. So underfunded teams are going to try and use this as a golden opportunity to win some races here. as Sekuli still leads, really bringing an impression to the RCR crew right now, because Connor Breton couldn't do as much last season. Richard Johnson still sits there in second. Don't count him out just yet. And there he goes down the inside of Sekuli for position here, as the field still scatters around out for corner number 4, several rows deep. Pat Johnson has just had a ton of help from Manny Thomas right now. 2 Toyotas are pushing each other. Sekuli's going to place the block underneath the 11 there, and it does push the 27 up the track. Here comes Dylan Schwalmberg with a full head of steam. Jessica Emery's going to try and capitalize on that battle and make her way up there as well. Yeah, it looks like Chris Dunn cannot get up to speed. He's going 199. They're going 229. So definitely something wrong with the gearbox of Chris Dunn as well as the transmission. So there may be some horsepower issues for the 88 team as they're going to get approached really quickly on Sekuli. Sekuli has to go up high, and Dodd's going to have to stay. He can't really decide a line because everybody's all over the racetrack as he continues to hold up several drivers here. He's going down low, blocking several lanes. Right now, there you see he's blocking Sam Curtis at the moment. There you see Richard Johnson's getting held up, and there you see the 19, PJ Williams, trying to get out of harm's way. I know Chris Dodd's not mean to do this, and that's not going to make some drivers too happy with him after this one here, unless they can get a caution. Dylan Young, actually, Dodd holding him up. Dylan Young, JT Bryan, 2 Penske cars having some issues early on with Nick Gunther as well. So they've lost the draft only because of that 88 early on in the race, and that with the 88 yet again interfering, this will spread out the field yet again, as the first field is led by DJ Curtis and company. And there you see kind of like a little bundle of cars. Audrey Baranowska's trying to lead that little second pack here with Joey Murphy, Audrey Barnes, Jessica Emery, Annie Thomas, and PJ Williams as others are going to try and maybe form a second pack here. This is kind of where the pack will kind of merge. William Brock trying to lead it here, but looks like Jeremy Jones is going to try and object to that with O'Neal Baldwin following on tow. Right at the moment, this main pack is just going to be the one you're going to have to watch right now. Betty Johnson leads, Angel Navarro second, Jonathan Rain sits in third, contact made, and around goes the number 25, Eric Rodriguez. He saved it, but it looks like Zorlin and DJ Curtis have damage to their front ends, and the caution, will it fly? Yes, it did fly because of that smoke, so caution is out for the first time, but a good save by Eric Rodriguez. But unfortunately, I think the car is already damaged enough to where he may lose the draft, but we may never know. But the caution is out for the very first time here on lap number 10 out of 51. First things first, we need to look at Elijah Gordon's wreck. Richard Johnson and Young got together, and poor Elijah Gordon was an innocent bystander, sitting the 14 car hard into the inside barrier, taking him out of the race early on, just like that. And it looked like Dylan Schwalmberg just slid up the track into Jonathan Zorlin, collecting his teammate of Eric Rodriguez, and DJ Curtis had no place to go, and that could have collected a third Hendrick car just like that. Cody Lamas there on the outside lane, Joey Murphy getting out of harm's way there as well, but already some cosmetic damage done for those 3 drivers. But I think Zorlin and Curtis especially will be off the pace due to that wreck, and that's unfortunate for them. But an early wreck brings out our first caution here, but a pretty good green flag run overall. And a massive stack up occurs under caution. Everybody trying to hit the brakes here. Ian Dunn was on the brakes pretty well there, but then the 43 just slams the back end. Seth Cole does the same thing there, and that does take a couple drivers with damage, probably off the pace as a result of that. So it looks like the 43 of Zachary Fitzwater's day is not going to go well. Neither will and Bill Gunther here. That's a tough break for the Dockside Logistics mobile. At least I believe that's logistics, but already a tough break for some of these drivers early on, especially under caution. You didn't expect it to be under caution either. So a tough luck at most. And green flag was out there for just a moment there. Angel Navarro had a very good start due to the slow car of Chris Dodd. Dodd's going to have to get out of harm's way If you're wondering how many cars out of the race, actually, only one car is out of this race so far, and that is Elijah Gordon. So Elijah Gordon, with a tough start of the season, he's going to be starting last in points after this one. So he's got a lot of ground to make up, but we still have a lot of races to go in the Doublemint Cup Series regular season before the chase actually starts. So right now we're going to focus here on Angel Navarro here. Pat Johnson sits in second at 11 car. Was so close to winning a lot of races last season. Could have won more than one race. Fun fact, it actually only won one race last season. There's the 42 of Jack James looking underneath as well. Jeremy Jones trying to do a sweep here and win in both the trucks and the Cup Series here. So Jeremy Jones trying to win season openers. Trying to make history here. And Jesse Turner actually still in this pack despite the damage he's gotten. Jesse Turner doing a fantastic job. Up on those drivers that have had minor damage, their cars are going to be able to stay with that main pack, but some others aren't going to be so lucky here, but I think some of them are going to stay in line as soon as possible. Let's just see, looks like Jonathan Rain's having a bit of trouble here. You see DJ Curtis with damage, obviously off the pace. Joey Murphy, looks like he had some trouble in pit lane, so that's why he has some massive damage. But right now, Emily Anderson leads at the point right now to start lap number 16 out of 51. Tommy Turbo, they're 4 wide. Tommy Turbo, William Brock, and Jeremy Jones there. Richard Johnson giving the push to the 4 here. Cody Lamas on the inside with Andy Thomas and Kyle Matthews in the picture. So we still have a pretty abundant amount of cars in this one. As the Stuart Haas car leading the race at the moment, with his teammate Jeremy Jones sitting in second. So keep an eye out on the 41 and the 4 maybe later in this race, especially the 4 car. Jeremy Jones knows how to run the track. He ran well in the 88, stayed out of trouble, won the race as a result. But you never know, knowing the unpredictability of the Doublemint Cup Series and its illogical wrecks, anything can happen at any rate. O'Neal Ballman trying to look underneath Kyle Matthews' position, but it looks like Charles Sanford may object to that. Pat Johnson with the move following the number 10. They are 4 wide. You can tell how close they are. They are very close. They squeeze each other a bit into the corner, but they decide to back off. So very courteous here in the early section of this race. As of right now, they're going to get more aggressive as the second half progresses. But it looks like Rancho Cucamonga could try and maybe get barely near that pack here at the end. But he might be able to stay on edge with it unless they wreck. But there are a couple cars way up high in the track that could bring out a caution here. And maybe, this could showcase here, especially after corner 4. We saw the trouble happen in the past, where turn 4 was the tricky corner, where you slid up and one mistake could lead to a massive crash where one car could go basically dying into the pit road barrier. And Charles Sanford going for the lead. Pat Johnson now looking underneath Sanford. And it looks like the 11 will be successful. Jessica Emery pushing the number 11, but William Brock sits there right behind Pat Johnson. He's going to help him as much as possible here. Charles Sanford still remains high, strong as ever. Sanford almost won the Juicy Fruit Xfinity Series here at this very track, and Sanford really wants to get redemption here, especially for the Stuart Haas Brigade. They haven't really had much success. They've been close, but they haven't been able to win that much. They won with Zach Buchanan last season, but with the problems that Manuel Hart and Lily does NASCAR, it didn't really work out for those other drivers. Right now, Betty Johnson now to the point. We've seen Betty Johnson lead a few laps this race so far. You see Gabe Williams finally making his way into the mix. JT Bryant returning to the series in the exact same number. So good to see JT Bryant back in the Team Penske organization. He made the chase. He won a couple races, I believe. So didn't make it past round 1. But JT Bryant trying to prove that he's still worth it for Team Penske. And I think they're definitely going to keep him. Unfortunately, Ramian Fisher could not re-sign back. He is somewhere else, living another series, racing another league. So we wish the best of success to Ramian Fisher. And he's not dead, by the way. But yeah, Rancho Cucamonga actually is still keeping up the pack. Jesse Turner in the same situation as Rancho. Both have damage, but they're still hanging on for dear life. And there you see William Duncan, Dylan Young, and Seth Cole. They are not going to be so lucky this time around with the main pack due to Chris Dodd holding them up. But right now, Betty Johnson with the lead. Toyota 1-2. There you see the 31 of Vince Freeze now going to the inside. The Granger machine for Richard Childress Racing. Now going underneath the 18 car. And you can see there, Jeremy Jones doing a pretty fine job. Trying to get out of as much trouble as he can. He's going to do the... You really need to be conservative in this first half of the race here. And they are about to reach the halfway point, by the way. So you notice they're lap 21 out of 51. Johnny Gardner way up high in the racetrack near the back there. But here comes Vince Freeze down the inside yet again. He has the momentum. And you can tell how strong the side draft can be or may not, because the outside line is still proving a bit prevalent here in the backstretch. But here comes the 18 of Gabe Williams yet again. Dylan Schwallenberg, there's his teammate right behind him. Joe Gibbs Racing trying to get their cars up to the front finally here. And there you see Joshua Sikuli back up to the front yet again. We talked about him earlier in the run, and now he has made his way back up to the top 3. Andra Baranowska's also making her way up, as well as the 42 of Jack James. There you see Richard Johnson, Brock, Sanford. There's the other Williams car, PJ Williams. There we go. Gabe Williams is way up high in the combos car. O'Neal Baldwin and Nick Gunther, who we saw him lose the draft earlier in the race. He has made his way into this pack, so Nick Gunther now has a shot at winning. Emily Anderson led the race earlier on. Sam Curtis has been pretty quiet throughout most of the event. Cody Lamas was up front. He started up front. He's now in the back, hopefully to stay out of the notorious big one here. And there, it was a bit close there off of 4. Could have been a bit dicey, but luckily it wasn't. And they're coming towards Chris Dodd just like that. You can tell how slow the 88 car is. And around goes Jessica Emery. Emery spins down the inside lane. There's Nick Gunther and Johnny Gardner collected. Annie Thomas is in it. Looks like the caution will fly. And Richard Johnson leads, but William Brock is right there. And here they come, coming towards the line. Lap car in the way. William Brock's going to lead the lap, and they'll take the caution. Here is a multi-car crash. Brings out our second caution off of corner number 2. And this was all trying to get around Chris Dodd. O'Neal Baldwin got into Johnny Gardner, clipping both Nick Gunther and Jessica Emery through the grass. Annie Thomas gets some damage right there. The 23 nowhere to go. And 3/4 goes spinning down the infield grass. And it looked like the caution wasn't really going to come out, I believe. But either way, once you saw the 35 spin back up the racetrack into the racing surface, the caution decided to come out. NASCAR had to bring the pace car out and check for to see if there was anything going on. And yep, there was an incident as a result of lap traffic. That's not going to be good there. Chris Dodd will probably get a lot of rants from other drivers about how slow he's been. But not the way some of these drivers want to end their race so far. And coming to take the restart here to start lap number 28. William Brock leads the field down. If you're wondering, looks like nobody else really dropped out of this one. So moderate damage for them. Green flag is out. William Brock leads over Vince Freeze at the moment. Lap cars are going to play a major role here. Chris Dodd's going to try and get out of harm's way. There you can see he goes way down low this time around. But I think there's going to be some drivers going to try and commit to the bottom. But that's not going to be the best decision made by themselves. As Chris Dodd's actually trying to get out of harm's way this time around. And he's learned from the mistakes. So see, you can sit there. You can see when people don't listen, they just decide to go down low, and that's their consequence of getting held up by lap traffic here. But right now, William Brock getting freight trained by Vince Freeze, Richard Johnson, Dylan Schwallenberg, and Andra Baranowska's, and JT Bryant also in the mix with Sam Curtis and Emily Anderson following on tow, and they're getting around that 7 car without much of a hassle. And there you see a couple cars still near the back of the field. Angel Navarro, who was running up front earlier in the race, had a bad pit stop, and now he is trying to get out of traffic and trying to catch the main field. He's got Audrey Barnes in front of him. So I think if they work together with Dylan Young as well, they could be able to catch up to that first pack of cars. So they're going to try and work together here. It looks like, yeah, that's what they're doing at the moment. So they're going to do a fantastic job if they can keep that up. And they have a shot. Actually, this is more of a second pack of cars, as there's O'Neal Baldwin's damaged machine there. Remember, he had damage in a wreck. But otherwise, there you see Richard Johnson now leading the race as of the moment. Dylan Schwalmberg sits there in second. That 20 car was close to winning last season as well, and Schwalmberg trying to improve Joe Gibbs Racing performance here. Andre Baranowska sits in third. Remember, Richard Johnson drove this car last season and made it to the chase, so it's possible for the JTG Doherty Racing organization to win a race here and make the chase. And they won both at road courses, coincidentally, so living up to the realism. But right now, Dylan Schwalmberg stays in second. He's going to try and hold that second position as much as he needs to, because he wants to get around that 21 car sooner or later. Because it's going to be valuable if he leads and manages to hold off the rest of the field, and he could win this race. And Schwalmberg does have some momentum on the number 21 Hot Wheels machine. Turner's down pit lane. He hasn't had a really good day so far, so it's really a tough break for the 17 team. You see, he drove it a little bit too hard on the apron there, so there's the leaders going by. He's going to be a lap down now, so tough break for him. O'Neal Baldwin looks like he just got out of pit lane as well. If you're wondering here, William Duncan in the first pack, actually. So William Duncan has made his way finally into the first pack. Now he can gain some positions here. Luis Hernandez has been pretty quiet throughout most of the race in the 33 machine. Hasn't caused too much trouble for other drivers, and he hasn't really been doing much, really, in this race himself. So expect to maybe see more movement from some of the drivers near the back of the field to the front at the end of this one. But right now, it's all about Richard Johnson, but Vince Freeze is right there on the inside. O'Neal Baldwin's going to have to go down low. We're going to see where the one car goes. He stays low this time, but now goes to the middle. Richard Johnson now getting challenged by Cody Lamas and Jack James. For second, they're 3 wide. And Richard Johnson loses 2 spots just like that, and lap traffic. It's going to add the insult here, as several drivers will be zooming on by the 21, the 20, and the 47. But right now, Cody Lamas now leads the field for lap number 33. Sorry about that, I'm going to hesitate a little bit there. My throat's not been the best so far, but there we go, there's some good water. Right now, Cody Lamas leads over Joshua Sikuli there, with the number 18 of Gabe Williams. So really, all the Gibbs cars are still running fantastic so far. All of them are still in contention of winning this. I don't know where Pat Johnson is, however, but Pat Johnson now in some deep duty, so JT Bryant way up high in the racetrack. Joshua Sikuli trying to go down low underneath Cody Lamas for position here. And it may not work just yet. We're going to have to wait. Kyle Matthews in the mix as well. So 2 Hendrick cars are still in this fight right now. And there you can see Kyle Matthews getting abandoned a bit by Dylan Schwalmberg. Schwalmberg now pushing his teammate Gabe Williams on the outside lane. If one of those Gibbs cars wins because another one helps, they need to owe the favor back, because they're going to definitely owe them a lot after that. If they don't make the chase, then I don't know what's going to happen. As last season, Joe Gibbs Racing actually failed to make the chase. No Toyotas really made the chase at all last season, so maybe they can change this year, or this season whatsoever, and maybe we can see a lot more Toyotas and a lot more variety of drivers in the chase. And there you can see how aggressive Cody Lamas is. He blocked the 18 for just a moment there, but it's not going to work anymore. Gabe Williams now going for the point. Kyle Matthews sits there right behind. And they'll be coming towards Chris Dodd yet again. Chris Dodd has been the major component to getting the lead. If you're on the inside line or the outside line, depending on where he's at, you have to reach him just right if he can be your advantage. And you can tell Chris Dodd's going at a blistering pace of 195 miles per hour there. Dylan Schwamberg's got a huge run on the outside line. Vince Freeze decides to block the number 20 here, and Richard Johnson now sits there on the inside line, trying to capitalize on Vince Freeze's actions there. And Richard Johnson still with the uppermost ground in this number 21 team. Chuck Petty did so well in the 21 as well. They had a rough start actually to the regular season here. But it looks like Richard Johnson trying to turn things around for the Wood Brothers Racing Organization here. He has had a lot of experience in other racing series. And there's Chris Dodd. He goes low this time. He blocks the low lane. This is going to be good for Richard Johnson and Schwallenberg. Those two have really been the closest to each other all race. And contact, and around they go. Big crash in the back of the field. Caution is out yet again. Several cars spinning. Sam Curtis, Emily Anderson, Audra Baranauskas. Jack James is in it. Charles Sanford, Joshua Sikuli's in it. Several cars are involved here. Caution. Out on the racetrack yet again. It is because of slow cars and everybody trying to check up. Just like that, Seth Cole with some heavy front side damage. His race is pretty much over. But at the line, Richard Johnson leads over Dylan Schwallenberg. And it's just, the track is just so tight for some of these drivers, and that's what happened. They all tangled up yet again. And multiple cars. Cody Lamas did a good job of saving the car. Sam Curtis, there you see, went for a spin. Charles Sanford with nowhere to go. Two Stuart Haas cars get collected in that one. There you see Seth Cole. Look at Audra Baranauskas and some of the drivers on the outside lane, that second pack, having to evade that action, evade the wreckage there. They did a fine job, but already a tough break for those drivers involved in that late race wreck. That's going to cost them a chance of winning. And under caution, we had another jam up here. Let's see, we're going to pay attention. Everybody's on the brakes again, and they still pile in. Look at the amount of cars. It's just a massive New York traffic jam. Everybody just plowing into the wreckage. Look at that. It's literally a Dover wreck right there. Everybody absolutely piled into that one, and heavy damage to several race cars that didn't really need damage to begin with. Already in some more dramatic situations here, more of a predicament for them. And their races are down the drain just like that. That's going to knock even more contenders out of this one, so. Already we're going to have probably more than half the field out just because of a simple traffic jam, taking out several automobiles. And we will have a 11-lap shootout here. Richard Johnson will be leading the field to the green. He's got Dylan Schwalberg in second, Vince Freeze sitting in third, Jeremy Jones looking forward to sweeping the truck and the cup race here, with JT Bryant sitting in the top 5. Green flag is going to fly here, and looks like the 21 did get a good start. If you're wondering how many cars are this one, 27 still remain, as lots of drivers that had traffic, that got into that traffic jam, really lost a lot of time and got a lot of damage than needed. And there you can see how impactful those lap cars are going to be. Chris Dunn still playing a major role in drivers losing the main pack, and that's really upset a lot of drivers today. Same thing with Jonathan Rains as well, as we're going to focus yet again. Richard Johnson leads. Jeremy Jones is right there in second. Don't count him out just yet. Jones to the second position. There's Freeze in third. Jones is just trying to make things happen for the 4 team this season, trying to make it a big turnaround here. Dylan Schwalberg drops down to 4th. He lost 2 spots in that restart there. Kyle Matthews still in the mix, running in the top 10. Good run by the 24 team. There is JT Bryant in 5th. Don't count out anybody just yet that's still in this main pack. It's all the way down to where Cody Lamas ends up. So that's basically the top 10. But you can, if Williams, Hernandez, and Duncan can work together, as well as Pat Johnson, they could be able to catch that first pack. Let's see where those four are going to be ending up here. With Cody Lamas stuck way in the outside line, I think that'll help him quite a lot. And Vince Freeze, just like that, going on the inside. Does he have the help? And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. Jeremy Jones decides to go down low. He's going to try and help that 31 car get to the point here. And Schwallenberg now making it 3 wide. An aggressive move by the number 20 DeWalt Toyota. And it has helped Gabe Williams. He's caught up to Cody Lamas and Betty Johnson alike. Both those two, and he's going to push Cody Lamas here. I think he prefers to push the 48 over the 83. With the 83 having less funding, William Duncan still trying to get a good run here. He's actually running pretty solid for what he's got so far. Actually running around the 11th position. Maybe dropping a bit because of Navarro trying to pass. But right now, Vince Freeze now up to the point. Kyle Matthews now fighting for second underneath Dylan Schwallenberg for position here. With 9 laps to go. It's going to be 8 now this time. Vince Freeze now has about a 2/10 over the rest of the field right now. Those that are in that pack. William Brock doing a fine job. He stayed out of trouble, so it's a good run. It's a good thing to see William Brock do so well today. William Brock really deserves a lot better than he should, honestly. And then you see JT Bryant now on the inside. There you got Richard Johnson right there as well. So Angel Navarro has caught up to that main pack here. Cody Lamas looks like he's dropping like a rock. PJ Williams now looking underneath Cody Lamas now. And Kyle Matthews has the momentum. He's got the inside run. Who's going to lead to the line? Kyle Matthews got the lead lap there. Matthews has a shot at winning at this. The Exalta machine trying to prove Hendrick Motorsports they're just as strong as ever as they were last season. If they even were. Yeah, they were actually, because they had almost all their cars win except for the 48. So Kyle Matthews trying to give the 24 a good name yet again. Warren Keith did a fine job in the 24. Didn't have the best season, but won a race or two. So that's good for the 24 organization. But here comes Vince Freeze yet again on the inside. The 31 for RCR on the inside. Richard Johnson's got a little bit of help from JT Bryant, but it doesn't look like it's going to work whatsoever. They are 3 wide off of corner number 4. That is what Vince Freeze wants to see. Kyle Matthews staying high, Johnson down low, JT Bryant down low as well. And the Gibbs cars are trying to form a second line in the middle of the racetrack. PJ Williams, look at the momentum he's got. He went to the inside, he files back to the inside line. Not one of the more well-liked drivers in the ISCC, but now trying to make a name in Doublemint here. William Duncan has now made his way into the pack, as well as Pat Johnson. So put all of those Joe Gibbs racing cars into this pack, because they all have a shot at winning. So this has formed into a bigger line of cars that have a better shot at winning at this. And there you see Jeremy Jones, the 4th car on the inside line, trying to make things happen. Schwallenberg now sits right behind the 4. He's got the run. But Richard Johnson leads over PJ Williams. It may be short-lived here. Watch the 19 or the 12 go to the inside in turn number 1. If not, then they're going to wait. And it looks like they're going to be waiting this time, actually. They're going to go to the inside now. Here comes PJ Williams with the help from JT Bryant. With 4 laps to go. Or with 5 laps to go, to be exact. PJ Williams now leads over Richard Johnson. Johnson gets cleared by the 19. But JT Bryant now sits on the inside with not much of momentum. He's got to file back in line here. Vince Freeze now getting help from Angel Navarro. And there you see the 3 Gibbs cars of Schwallenberg. Johnson, and the number 18 of PJ Williams. So the Williams are still in this. Richard Johnson and Pat Johnson are in this one. Cody Lamas in the main pack. William Duncan holding on for dear life. He's still doing a fine job, though. Really good run for the number 6 team. But right now, I keep saying Eric Rodriguez. Eric Rodriguez actually made this 21 car. Fun fact, as well as the 12. They're 4 wide off of corner number 2 yet again. The 3 Gibbs cars are 3 wide. with William Brock on the low side with Cody Lamas pushing. Kyle Matthews still stuck in a bit of a Joe Gibbs sandwich, as well as some other race cars here. Vince Freeze leads. Angel Navarro's right there. Don't count out the 78 just yet. Look at the momentum. Angel Navarro has off of corner number 4. And looks like it may just backfire a little bit here. Navarro does have the momentum. He's got some side draft here. 3 laps to go. Freeze looks on the inside. He blocks Angel. That was a good, pretty well executed block. Angel Navarro still holding his line in the inside lane. Here comes Pat Johnson on the outside line. He's going to go with Dylan Schwalberg. Schwalberg's going to try and push that 11 car here. They'll be coming towards lap traffic again. This will probably end up anticlimactic here for the outside line. Yes, it will. Will he block low? Oh, looks like he will, but it failed, actually. As Richard Johnson now to the point with Kyle Matthews sitting in second as they come to the line with 2 laps to go. That is not what some of those drivers in the outside line needed at all. They're going to have to get the run of their lives here if they want to catch Richard Johnson and Kyle Matthews. But this could be good for them because they're all in a pack, and if they work together, they could have a shot at winning. But it doesn't look like it's going to really work now because here comes Angel Navarro on the inside line. There's William Brock and Cody Lamas. Will they follow the 78 for the as well? Looks like Lamas will stay high. But right now, Kyle Matthews, look at the run he's got. He's got the momentum on Richard Johnson. Johnson's going to need to block as much as he can if he wants to win this race. Kyle Matthews is right there as well. They'll be coming off of corner number 4 down the front straightaway. It is going to be the white flag for Richard Johnson and Kyle Matthews. 1 more lap to go here at MMM's. I don't think Navarro and the 18, as well as the pack behind him, could catch, but you never know. There they are right there. Actually, they've caught them a lot. Angel Navarro is right there. He's got the run. Richard Johnson now files back in line to second. And look at Navarro. He's got a full head of steam. On the inside line, he's got William Brock right behind him. Kyle Matthews is going to need to hold off Angel Navarro and William Brock. Brock goes 3 wide. Brock's going to go for second. I don't think Matthews doesn't have to worry about anything anymore here. As Kyle Matthews, here he comes off of corner number 4. Kyle Matthews for Hendrick Motorsports is going to win his first ever Doublemint Cup Series race here at MMM's. Talk about flaming hot. Kyle Matthews wins in the Exalta machine here for the Hendrick organization. Talk about Team 24. Good job by Kyle Matthews. He wins this race. William Brock with a well-deserved second. Good run for the Tommy Bone racing team. They're showing how strong they were like last season, and it's just as strong as ever. Navarro gets third. Actually, Brian gets third. Navarro fourth. Lamas in fifth. And let's look at the other results here. 6th, there you see Gabe Williams. 7th, Richard Johnson. 8th, Vince Freeze. Jeremy Jones gets 9th. Still a pretty good run for the Stewart-Haas organization. And PJ Williams gets a top 10. As a result, a lot of Johnsons are actually in this field. I haven't really noticed that. Betty Johnson, Pat Johnson, and Richard Johnson are all in this field. So that's going to be quite interesting. PP, that's fine. Lots of drivers were in this race. We had some massive crashes and a lot of cars being held up by lap traffic as a result. But what a race here to end. Pretty good finish there. Okay, maybe the leader should have probably gotten past like that, but Richard Johnson did get passed by Kyle Matthews on the outside line. Matthews made the move work. And a good job by the 24 team. That got them in late and in the chase this season. So congratulations to Kyle Matthews on making the chase as well. 16 drivers will make the chase. They could be different winners or making it on points simply put. But for Kyle Matthews, victory lane awaits him here, as we'll take a look at the full standings here in just a moment. So like I said, I apologize for not really doing much for this series. As you can see, been busy with school and yeah, having some fun with other things too. So that's not much of an excuse there. But like I said, congratulations to Kyle Matthews on winning